Today we have plenty of news in Cedar Springs, including news on global travel and people's plans for the up-and-coming summer.
On top of that, we will cover music and sports, all that and more on this episode of Cedar Springs TV Live. Hi, I'm Izzy Smith, a sophomore at Cedar Springs High School.
Hi, I'm Carter Sherman, a freshman here. How's your morning going, Izzy?
My morning is good. How about you?
Mine's going good, but let's not dwell on us. Let's get right into the news.
I agree.
Our first piece will be about people's plans for the up-and-coming summer.
I for one am looking forward to sleeping in and being with friends, but that's just me. Maddie Gulliver and Kate Larkin have more on this topic.
As May is coming to a close, summer is rolling in very closely, and many students here at Cedar Springs High School are ecstatic for summer break. But summer this year is going to look very different compared to previous years from the eventful year we had due to COVID. Despite this, many people have interesting things they will partake in this summer break, and we have decided to ask students here, foreign exchange students, and teachers their summer plans to compare. First, we will look into what a typical day looks like for these people in summer.
My baby's 1 year old that we can actually go out. He's running around, so I'm just looking forward to, playing outside.
Normally I just hang out with my friends and go to the beach and for a week to my lake house.
Sleeping in. And just playing video games, hanging out with my family.
A lot of people's summer days will be looking very similar, but next we looked into what big events will be happening in these people's summers and what they will look like in advance to see how different people's experiences can compare during the summer.
In Finland we had this midsummer celebration in June, and normally people go to their lake houses and hang out with friends and family, so I'm really looking forward to that.
The big event I'm looking forward to this summer is Red Bud. It's a big dirt bike race where everyone gets together and just hangs out and watches them, but there's going to be restrictions due to COVID this year, so it's not going to be as big.
Lastly, we have asked those we interviewed how their summer will look like compared to previous years and some of their favorite memories from last summer, even though it may be very different than it was this year.
This year, summer's going to look drastically different than last year because I think we can travel, we can do stuff again, so I'm going to travel. I'll be here through the middle of June doing little stuff. I got to coach a Grand Valley camp in the early July, and then I'm going to take off on a motorcycle trip again.
For the first half, I'm probably going to go to my beach house with some friends and just hang out there, go on the boat, go tubing, things like that. And then for the second half, I'm probably going to travel if it's possible to COVID. We were planning on going to Greece or visiting my family in Germany.
This year will look different just because I have pretty much a motto, just making every summer the best summer ever, trying to make it the best from last year, like the year before, just trying to make it better.
The weird and trying year we've had this year, we continue to see many people striving for fun, especially during the summer, a time of relaxation. And exciting to think that it's similar yet different for those all around us and in other countries. But as far as we know, it's going to be an amazing summer for many people.
It's nice to see everyone's plans for the summer.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to follow through with their plans and they have a great summer.
Moving on, our next topic will be about sports and the dominating scene.
Yeah, this year, Cedar Springs sports teams have been doing wonderful. Cole Detloff will help inform me about the latest sports news. Cole?
As May is coming to a close, summer is rolling.
Thanks, Sir Sherman. As school comes close to the summer, spring sports are beginning to slow down and wrap up their seasons. Starting off with girls soccer, the girls had a close 1-2 loss against Rockford on May 15th last week following an 8-0 win against Ottawa Hills on the 17th. This last Thursday, they had an unfortunate 0-2 loss against South Christian. This Monday, the girls finished their season with a 5-1 win against Thornapple Kellogg to be crowned conference champs. Good job, ladies. Following soccer, boys track has been getting work done, getting 7th place in the regional meet this last Friday with Corey Bauer scoring 20 points by winning the 800 and 1600 meter. Gabe White was also able to score 6 points by getting 3rd in pole vault. Yesterday at Comstock Park, Corey Bauer scored the school record on the 800 meter, and Cedar scored 21st place. Girls softball was hitting strong last week by shutting down Ottawa Hills 18-3 on May 18th, but unfortunately was able to keep that up against Wayland with a 0-12 loss on the 19th and a 1-12 loss against Big Rapids on the 20th. Yesterday, the girls had a doubleheader against Kennewaw Hills and won 8-3 and 12-6. They finished their season this Thursday against Fremont at 4 o'clock. Good luck. The boys baseball team has been dominating this past week with a 7-2 win against Thornapple Kellogg on May 19th and following a win against Ottawa Hills 16-4 on the 20th and 6-4 win against Northview on the 21st. This Monday, the boys came out with a 5-1 win against Big Rapids and came out successful with a 3-1 win and 1-1 tie against Kennewaw Hills this Tuesday. The boys will finish their season this Thursday with one last game against Kennewaw Hills with a hope for a good result. Now, let's move into learning about sports outside of school with Logan Johnson.
In Cedar, we have some exceptional athletic talent. And now, let's go look at some of the athletes who are used their abilities outside of school.
My name is Morgan Llewellyn. I did it when I was really young, and I was actually doing other sports. I was doing gymnastics, and then I went to some of their tournaments, and I just kind of liked it, so I just started playing.
What's the environment like compared to a school sport?
It's a lot different because you meet a lot of people outside of your school and you make a lot of different friends than you normally would. Playing a school sport, you're just kind of in a close circle with everyone that you know, and playing an outside sport just kind of gets you out there and you get more involved.
What are your short-term and long-term goals in soccer?
Short term, just enjoying myself and playing. Soccer is just a fun sport for me to do and get away from school and stuff. Long term, I don't know any plans because I don't know if I'm going to play for the school and get a scholarship or not, and I don't know if I want to play in college. So right now it's just kind of like a fun thing for me to do and get away.
What got you interested in this sport?
Rugby, I love playing football, and it's the closest thing to football I can get in the spring.
What's the environment like compared to a school sport?
It's not as loud as, like, the stadiums aren't as packed as school sports would be, but.
What's the environment for, like, the athletes, like, with your teammates?
For them, it's looks like we're just out there playing for fun. Like, it's not like looks like just like some guys got on the field together.
Do you have a role model in this sport, and why?
Zach Schmid, because he's taught me a lot about rugby.
What are your short-term and long-term goals for rugby?
To be better at the sport, and for long-term, I'm hoping I can be better for football as well.
Archery, I mean, there wasn't really like a specific event, just kind of always found it a bit interesting. I guess it would have to be like, I guess my grandpa, just because like he had an old bow and he gave it to me and he was like, here, try this, and I did. And he was like, wow, you're pretty good at archery, you should like do that as a sport. So that started.
Wow, some athletes we have. Back to you, Cole.
Thanks, Logan, for the cool feature. We will send you back to Carter and Izzy after a short break.
Hey, my name's Nick. Do you need a life jacket? Because I got a life jacket for you. Introducing the Life Jacket Pro.
This life jacket will not let you down. Don't you just love summer? Don't you just love life jackets? You will be the star of the show. Just look at this happy guy. So happy. Even the durability can withhold a baseball bat. thumbs up. This life jacket can even survive a car.
I don't know, it ran out into the road and I couldn't stop and I ran over it. I don't know, poor thing.
It's even party-proof too. Just look at this party-proof lifesaver. Go buy one now at lifejacketpro.com.
Don't you just love watching sports with your friends? Don't you love watching high school sports? I introduced to you NFHS live streaming. Now you can watch your favorite high school teams on your TV. This live streaming network is even free. Well, stop sitting around. Go watch your favorite high school teams right on your TV.
It is quite the special sports scene we have here at Cedar Springs, but let's move into our next topic.
I agree. Our next topic will be on why people should travel and see the world. Have you ever traveled?
Yes, recently I went to Mexico with my family. How about you?
No, I haven't, but it's something that I've always wanted to do.
Well, two people here, Annie and Ellen, have traveled plenty in their lives. Being foreign exchange students from Europe, they enjoy traveling much, and we'll give you the latest news on sports. Travel.
Traveling is known to have many benefits in terms of learning about new cultures and getting more perspective on life around us. Let's hear from two students and one teacher from Cedar Springs High School what they had to say about this topic.
I think I've traveled a decent amount. I don't think I've traveled enough. There's definitely stuff to do. I've been all over the continental United States, Canada, Mexico, and then through Europe. I've been to, I lived in England for a while. I've been through England, Ireland, Scotland, Italy, Austria, Germany, the Netherlands, and France.
Traveled quite a bit. I've traveled to almost every state in the U.S. except for like the non-continental ones. And I've also traveled to Canada and then Thailand my freshman year.
Traveling is a very eye-opening experience. This is what our interviewees said about the impact traveling can make.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of places that I've been that have impacted me a lot, different ways. I think studying abroad and traveling and living overseas was impactful because you're in a different culture, you're living in a different culture. Even though it's England and similar to the U.S., it's still very different.
I feel like the place that has made the biggest impact on me was New York, because it was so different to everything that I was used to, and it was so different to everything that I had seen before that. So that was that made a lot of impact on me. But I would say that as an exchange student, being here in Cedar Springs has made probably a really big impact on me, because I've been here 10 months by myself. So I feel like that has made me grow a lot as a person.
Holly Koeman, a student from Cedar Springs High School, traveled to Thailand in her freshman year as a volunteer. These were her experiences.
So my freshman year, I traveled to Thailand for 2 weeks, and in that time we got to do a lot of work with the orphanage there, and we planted about 40 trees, and I think just going there and experiencing the new culture was really interesting to see that, and I think it impacted me a lot to realize that it's more than just people I know and people I look like.
Well, I think traveling for sure changed me. I think leaving the country at 20 years old, my junior year of college, and taking 6 months to live somewhere else in a whole different culture, in a whole different place, it just gave me a different appreciation for what I have here, and it gave me more of a worldly view on the cultures around the world that I had no idea about.
Now we're going to hear from the Cedar Springs High School students why traveling at a young age is important.
I think traveling is important because it allows you to experience new things, and the more experience you have, the more fun you have, and you can travel anywhere in the world and you can make it fun. And I think that's a really important trait to learn, and especially at such a high school level, you can really get out into the world and see new things, and I think it's really important to do it now and not later.
Lifestyle? Yeah. So I think it's really important to travel because I think it's important to understand how other people live and the kind of lifestyle that they have. And I think it's really important to grow as a person and I feel like traveling is one way of doing that.
So I think traveling didn't change like who I am, but it more changed how I see other people, because before I was like stuck in this little Cedar Springs town of, you know, like a low population, and then I got out into the world a little bit more, and I think it's super important to see that.
I think that traveling changed me as a person, because when you travel you have to leave everything that you're used to and adapt to a new lifestyle, even if it's only for 1 week. Or at least that's how I feel about traveling. So even if it's only for 1 week, you have to find other ways of doing stuff that you're not used to.
Traveling has opened my eyes. I feel like it mostly just kind of put me in my place. I've only been on an airplane once, because like other places I've like road trip to, and like being up in the air and like looking out, you can see that people look super small from up there, and I think that kind of puts a perspective on all of us to see that our situations aren't that bad, and other people have it worse sometimes, and like the end of the world isn't the end of the world, even when it feels like it.
As a conclusion, traveling is a very impactful experience for several reasons. By seeing different ways of living, we can understand each other better and feel more united. And that is why people find it important to leave your zone and go out to explore the world.
Thank you, Ina and Ellen, on telling us about all the positive benefits of travel.
Yeah, that was an interesting topic. I was listening to some music while watching.
What were you listening to?
Just some instrumental music.
Well, that's quite the coincidence, because our next topic will be on music. I personally love music, and I'm excited for JR to enlighten us about the positive benefits of music.
I'm John Richard Null. I'm a sophomore. I've been with the band program since I was in 6th grade, and I play tenor sax for the jazz band and alto sax for a concert band.
I'm in the school band. I play the oboe. And I'm in drumline, and I play second bass. What got me into music initially was my sister being in band, and I just decided it looked interesting, so I gave it a try. And then I started off on flute, and then got moved to oboe.
What got me involved in music initially, I took guitar lessons when I was about 7 because I thought guitar sounded cool and I wanted to sound cool as well. So I started playing guitar, and I dropped that pretty quickly, but it got me started in a really good place. And eventually my sister played sax, so I picked it up for the band program, and I've been playing ever since.
I just like expressing myself a lot, and I felt like music was an outlet to do that, and it was just nice because a lot of my life is very like analytical and like not very representative.
Music personally has given me a sense of achievement. It's helped me feel like I've made progress in a skill, and a skill that matters, and a skill that I can demonstrate. I think music's a really important thing, and I think music is really helpful for building community and building a lot of helpful skills that people use in life.
Music is important because, again, it just allows for like individual interpretation. You can express whatever you want, and there's not really any specific way to do something.
Music is important because it's an opportunity for students, adults, anybody really, to latch onto something and I don't know, find a way to express themselves differently. Whenever you're pushing yourself, you're growing, you're learning, you're trying to push through adversity. You're always going to, and you're doing that with people, and you have that shared experience. You guys are going to be bonded because you had the shared experience of going through something difficult and then coming out of it better, stronger, more resilient, more polished, whatever it may be. And marching band's no exception. We go in to the season not knowing the show. We have to, break it down, and then we get to the point where the directors are expecting a higher and higher level of excellence, rehearsal after rehearsal after rehearsal. And at that point, you just kind of kick it into another gear of mental preparation that's required, and I guess discipline and holding, you know, your peers, your classmates, your fellow band kids accountable also strengthens those bonds, because you feel like you're not only accountable to yourself and to the directors, but to the other 120 kids who are all showing up and putting in the time here. And I think that just, you know, the accountability, the shared experience of something difficult, plus performing, you know, those things really do just create friendships that in some cases will last for the rest of their lives.
It's good to hear the positive benefits of music.
Indeed it is. Well, that about wraps up this episode of CSTV Live.
But before we go, we'll take a quick break and go to our sponsors.
Water. Thirsty? Drink some water. Hot? Go for a swim. Cold? Soak in some warm water. Dirty? Take a shower. Dead plants? Give them some water. Need electricity? Build a dam. Need to go somewhere? Take a boat. Hungry? Fish. Bored? Play water sports. Water is the solution to all of your problems, wants, and needs. Don't be shy. Buy water today. Imagine being able to watch a movie of all the memories and accomplishments you and your friends have collected within the past school year. Now imagine being able to have a handheld copy of those memories that you could have access to for the rest of your life. At only $75, you can have a yearbook for Cedar Springs High School. The yearbook staff has worked hard to provide Cedar Springs High School students with images and stories to accurately represent the joys and hardships endured during this school year. Buy a yearbook now.
That's all we have for this episode, folks. Make sure to tune in next time for CSTV Live.
And remember, it's always a great day to be a Red Hawk.